Luke chapter 19. Jesus went on to the city of Jericho and was passing through it. There was a rich man named Zacchaeus. He was a leader of those who gathered taxes. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus, but he could not because so many people were there and he was a short man. He ran ahead and got up into a sycamore tree to see him. Jesus was going by that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw Zacchaeus. He said, "Zacchaeus, come down at once. I must stay in your house today." At once he came down and was glad to have Jesus come to his house. When the people saw it, they began to complain among themselves. They said, "He is going to stay with a man who is known to be a sinner." Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Lord, see. Half of what I own I will give to poor people. And if I have taken money from anyone in a wrong way, I will pay him back 4 times as much." Jesus said to him, "Today, a person has been saved in this house. This man is a Jew also. For the Son of Man came to look for and to save from the punishment of sin those who are lost." As they heard these things, Jesus told them a picture story. Because he was near Jerusalem, they thought the holy nation of God would come at once. So Jesus said, "A leader of a country went to another country far away. A nation was to be given to him, then he would return home. He called 10 of the servants he owned. He gave them 10 pieces of money and said to them, 'Put this money to use until I return.' But other men in his country hated him. They sent men after him to tell him they did not want him as their king. After he had been given the other nation, he returned as king. He asked for his servants who had received the money to come to him. He wanted to know how much more they had after putting it to use. The first one came and said, 'Lord, the piece of money you gave me has made 10 more pieces of money.' He said to him, 'You are a good servant. You have been faithful in using a little. Now you will be leader over 10 cities.' The second man came to him and said, 'Lord, the piece of money you gave me has made 5 more pieces of money.' He said to him, 'You are to be leader over 5 cities.' Another one came saying, 'Lord, look. Here is your piece of money. I have kept it hid in a piece of cloth. I was afraid of you. You are a hard man. You take what you have not put down. You gather where you have not planted.' The king said to him, 'By the words from your own mouth I must say that you are guilty. You are a sinful servant. You knew I was a hard man. You knew I take what I have not put down. You knew I gather where I have not planted. Why did you not put my money in the bank? Then when I came back I could have had my own money and what the bank paid for using it.' Then he said to those who were standing by, 'Take the piece of money from him and give it to the one who has 10 pieces of money.' And they said to him, 'Lord, he already has 10 pieces of money.' Jesus said, 'I tell you, he who has, to him will be given more. To him who does not have, even the little he has will be taken from him. Bring here those who hated me and did not want me to be their king and kill them in front of me.' When he had finished the picture story, he went on ahead of them up to Jerusalem. When Jesus was coming near the towns of Bethphage and Bethany by the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his followers on ahead. He said, 'Go into the town ahead of you. There you will find a young donkey tied. No man has ever sat on it. Let it loose and bring it to me. If anyone asks you, "Why are you letting it loose?" say to him, "Because the Lord needs it." Those who were sent found everything as Jesus had told them. As they were letting the young donkey loose, the owners said to them, "Why are you letting the young donkey loose?" They answered, "The Lord needs it." Then they brought it to Jesus. They put their coats on the donkey and they put Jesus on it. As Jesus was going, they put their coats down on the road. Jesus was near the city and ready to go down the Mount of Olives. The many people who were following him began to sing with loud voices and give thanks for all the powerful works they had seen. They said, "Great and honored is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. There is peace and greatness in the highest heaven." Some of the proud religious law keepers who were in among the people said to Jesus, "Teacher, speak sharp words to your followers." Jesus said to them, I tell you that if these did not speak, the very stones would call out. When Jesus came near the city, he cried as he saw it. He said, If you had only known on this great day the things that make peace. But now they are hidden from your eyes. The time is coming when those who hate you will dig earth and throw it up around you, making a wall. They will shut you in from every side. They will destroy you and your children with you. There will not be one stone on another. It is because you did not know when God visited you. Jesus went into the house of God. He made those leave who were buying and selling there. He said to them, It is written, My house is a house of prayer. But you have made it a place of robbers. Jesus taught each day in the house of God. But the religious leaders and the teachers of the law and other leaders of the people tried to think of some way they could kill him. They could not find a way because the people were always near him listening to him teach. Luke chapter 20. As he was teaching and preaching the good news, the religious leaders and the teachers of the law and the elders came. They said to him, Tell us, by what right and power are you doing these things? Who gave you the right and the power? Jesus said to them, I will ask you one question also. You answer me. Was the baptism of John from heaven or from men? They said to themselves, If we say, From heaven, he will say, Then why did you not believe him? But if we say, From men, then all the people will throw stones at us because they believe John was one who spoke for God. They said that they did not know where John's baptism came from. Jesus said to them, And I will not tell you where I get the right and the power to do these things. Jesus began to tell the people a picture story, saying, There was a man who planted a grape field. He rented it to farmers. Then he went to a country far away for a long time. At the time of gathering fruit he sent one of his servants to the farmers to get some of the fruit. But the farmers beat him and sent him away without fruit. He sent another servant. The farmers beat him also. They made it very hard for him and sent him away without fruit. He sent a third servant. They hurt him and threw him out of the grape field. Then the owner of the grape field said, What should I do? I will send my much-loved son. They might respect him. The farmers saw the son. They said to themselves, This is the one who will get everything when the owner dies. Let us kill him, and we will get everything. They put him out of the grape field and killed him. Now what will the owner of the grape field do to them? He will come and kill those farmers. Then he will rent the grape field to other farmers. When they heard this, they said, May this never be done. Jesus looked at them and said, What does this writing mean? The stone that was put aside by the workmen has become the most important stone in the building. Whoever falls on this stone will be broken. And on the one it falls, it will make him like dust. At this time the religious leaders and the teachers of the law tried to take Jesus, but they were afraid of the people. These leaders knew Jesus had told this picture story against them. They watched Jesus and they sent men who pretended to be good people to watch him. They wanted to trap him in something he said. Then they could give him over to the leader of the people who had the right and the power to say what to do with him. These men who were sent asked Jesus, Teacher, we know what you say and teach is right. We know you do not show more respect to one person than to another. We know you teach the truth about God. Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Jesus knew they were trying to trap him. He said, Show me a piece of money. Whose picture is this? Whose name is on it? And they said, Caesar's. Jesus said to them, Pay to Caesar the things that belong to Caesar. Pay to God the things that belong to God. They could find nothing wrong with what he taught. They were surprised and wondered about what he told the people, so they said nothing more. Some people from the religious group who believe no one will be raised from the dead came to Jesus. They asked him, Teacher, Moses wrote to us in the law, if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife but no children, then his brother must marry her. He should have children for his brother who died. There were 7 brothers. The first had a wife but died without children. The second brother took her for his wife. He died without children. The third brother took her for his wife. In the same way all 7 took her for a wife. They all died without children. Then the woman died also. When people are raised from the dead, whose wife will she be? All 7 brothers had her for a wife. Jesus said to them, People of this earth marry and are given in marriage. But those who have the right to have that life and are raised from the dead do not marry and are not given in marriage. They cannot die anymore. They are as the angels and are sons of God. They are children who have been raised from the dead. As for the dead being raised, even Moses spoke of that when he told of the burning bush. There he calls the Lord, the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. For he is not the God of the dead. He is the God of the living. All live for him. One of the teachers of the law said, Teacher, you have spoken well. After that they were afraid to ask him anything. Jesus said to them, How do they say that Christ is the son of David? For David himself said in the book of Psalms, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right side until I make those who hate you a place to rest your feet. David calls him, Lord. Then how can he be his son? All the people were listening. He said to his followers, Look out for the teachers of the law. They like to walk around in long coats. They like to have people speak words of respect to them in the center of town where people gather. They like the important seats in the places of worship. They like the important places at big suppers. They take houses from poor women whose husbands have died. They cover up their actions by making long prayers. They will be punished all the more.